Hey folks, thanks again for tuning in to Dude Craft Guitars. Check it out. We're finally going to organize this place. As I've talked about before, I've got projects stacking up, but they're going to be on hold while we get this place organized. We're going with the French Cleat system like we have over here, and we're going to get all this stuff going, get it in places where I know it should be. Now, growing up, every dad or grandpa in our neighborhood was the envy if he had this pegboard stuff in his garage or shop. And we thought it was great, but I'll tell you what, it's not like it was back then. See, nowadays you go to take something off the hook and the hook falls off. They just don't make it very well. The stuff's made cheaply, it's junk, it's caca. We're not gonna use it anymore. We're gonna be using French Cleat, something that's gonna be a little more durable. I've already tested it out a little bit, got this wall going, made this little bit holder. It works. So I'm convinced that that's what I need to do to get things organized so I don't have to worry about stuff falling on the floor and tripping over it all the time and damaging things with my big fat feet. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll try to get you some footage of how we're doing it as we go, but right now we're just ripping this up, all the stuff out, throwing it on a tarp, building some things and putting it back together one at a time. So sound like a plan? Good, because it is a plan. That's what we're going to do. So hey, all right, stick around, enjoy some montages, maybe have some real crappy music behind them. Who knows? Maybe I'll get some music from real musicians too.
All right, so a lot of times I use the word we and just using it liberally, but this time it actually is a we. We got Lydia, Stuart, and Keith, our guest helpers of the day. It's actually, this whole project in and of itself is something that Lydia and I came about, mostly her. She said, Dad, you need to get organized. I said, Lydia, you're right. So we got Stuart and Keith to help us get all this stuff off the walls, and the two of us took it from there. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up there on pegs. What we did is stripped up a couple chunks of plywood. Actually, I think it was pretty much just one whole sheet, but stripped it up. I am not a saw aficionado. I mean, there's obviously we use a saw a little bit in guitar making, but mostly it's that guy right there on the left, the bandsaw. And a lot of that is shape cutting, that type of thing that gets cleaned up later. But with construction type saw, I've got an old skill saw that I think actually the blade is probably, 20 years old, and it's for framing. It's not very good. You'll see here in a moment I cut some plywood to make some cabinets, but I am not a furniture maker. I'm not a cabinet maker, and you'll see that here very shortly. So we're putting up the strips. These strips basically have a 45-degree angle. If you want to know more about French Cleat, go to the search tab on YouTube and you'll find as much video as you can stand watching, and probably even more so. Basically, we're just tacking it, make sure it's somewhat level, and put some screws in. Boom, pretty easy stuff. And I've tried to leave enough gap that I can put stuff in at any level here, because I don't know where I'm going to want my stuff. Here it is. Look at that. Look at that smoke. And I'm pushing this thing. And I know I'm doing it all wrong, but a couple quick cuts. Same thing. That fence on this saw is just absolutely terrible. And the chip out. I mean, this one's not as bad. At least the blade's not smokable. But look at all that chip out. I am no Michael Alm when it comes to handling plywood, which is a shame, because this is really nice plywood here, and I'm just choking it. You've heard me talk about my drill press. Yeah, now you get to see it in action. This thing is a hunk of junk, and it doesn't help that I've got semi sharp bit. Actually, the bit is fairly sharp, and you could tell by the lack of tear out that it's doing its job okay. But this drill press is just garbage. I don't see that to sound like a whiner or complainer. I'm the one that bought it. Won't do it again. Yeah, I showed you that first part in real time on purpose so you could see the torture I go through. Now it's on high speed. You're welcome. So if you've been watching half as many videos as I have on these French cleat systems, or if you've been all around Etsy and stuff like that, seeing what people do, you know what I'm getting to here. This is going to be my drill holder, and yeah, so it's a drill gun holder. And it's suggested that you use a 2-inch Forstner bit for this, which I would have, but I don't have one. So what I did is I just kind of widened it up a little bit with the bandsaw. Again, this is my saw. This thing, I absolutely love having a bandsaw. I wouldn't mind a better one. But this thing actually does its job really well, and it does exactly what I need it to do, aside from really good resawing. And that's where I wouldn't mind having another one, a dedicated resaw one. But as you can see, this is a tiny shop, and I got no room for stuff like that. So I do with what I got. And like this, if you got a 14-inch clearway, then you flip it over into it. Now this tool right here, this thing is awesome. Oscillating spindle / belt sander combo unit. This one happens to be a rigid. There's a lot of them out there. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but get one of these for your shop if you don't have one already. I am not kidding. It's awesome. And you'll see, because right there, I just used the spindle sander to clean these up, make it really nice. Look, it works. Yeah, and now I've got the belt on there. What's really cool about this, you can get a lot of aftermarket belts. You guys probably seen me do my necks with this thing. Yeah, I used to use grinder, rasp and stuff like that to shape the necks. I still do, but it's really nice. I can shape the necks on that. I've got an 80 grit belt. It's really cool. And again, like I said, I am no carpenter. I'm not a cabinet maker. But I got some help from the cameraman, woman, gal, person, daughter. Is that official title? Camera daughter? Now the tiniest brads that I had for this brad gun were still too big, so I got to cut them off. There you go, like that.
Now we're going to let it dry in. Go have lunch.
Now these things are a lot of fun. Having footage issues, computer issues again, so sorry, but you didn't get to see me drill those holes with my wonderful drill press. But you see they are at a little bit of an angle. I cocked them up a little bit, and I'm just using CA and the brad nails to put this all together. And just real simple, just coat hooks basically is what I'm making here. Little holders with some dowel that I had laying around. I think it's walnut or something like that. Yeah, just a couple brads there, and then a couple on the side to hold that dowel in place a little better. And then boom, look at that. Now you could do them individually like I just did, or you could do a rack of them. Now this one's really fun. Saw this pipe laying around the yard and said, hey, I could use that. And so we're making ourselves a little truss rod holder. Again, look at the quality of the scrap wood that I'm using here. Now I'm adding screws because once I get this thing loaded with truss rods, it is going to be quite heavy. I don't want this thing falling apart. And of course that little section, that screw didn't want to cooperate. And we're going for function, not necessarily beauty here, folks. So what can you say? Ta-da! And something else I found around the yard. Looked like we had a crate or two. Ta-da! Nice little big bottle box. I got lots of big bottles. The whole concept here is we've got a small shop and limited floor space. Last thing I want is more things on the floor. And again, here's some lost footage, so I do apologize because this was actually a pretty cool little box to make. I kind of messed up adjustments on the dado, so the slide in little shelving here is actually, I'm going to have to glue it in. Again, like I said, I'm not a cabinet maker. My mantra that I picked up from a painter a long time ago is spackle and paint for what the carpenter ain't. There it is, folks. That's what we got done on this particular Sunday. Any more projects will have to wait till the next Sunday. Yeah, you know, some folks go out and do fun things with their kids on Sunday. We work around the shop, but there you have it. Back to building guitars. Again, please click the likes and button, share with friends, subscribe and ring that bell if you're not already a subscriber. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much.